Okay, we're back for our second stanza in line 3. Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him, lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. Okay, so he's asking God some things. Consider and hear me, O Lord, consider and hear me, O Lord, my God. So he acknowledged who God is, his Lord, his God. Enlighten my eyes. And so what does that enlighten his eyes mean? Let's look in Ezra 9:8. See if it's going to give us an answer to that. All right. And so this is talking about God's faithfulness in Ezra 9:8. And it says, and now for a little while grace has been shown from... Let me just go up so you can understand why it was said, the reason for this. Okay. So let's go in 7. Since the days of our fathers to this day, we have been very guilty, and for our iniquities, we, our kings and our priests, have been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, to plunder, and to humiliation, as it is this day. 8. And now for a little while grace has been shown from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a peg in his holy place, that our God may enlighten our eyes and give us a measure of revival in our bondage. 9. For we were slaves, yet our God did not forsake us in our bondage, but he extended mercy to us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to revive us, to repair the house of our God, to rebuild its ruins, and to give us a wall in Judah and Jerusalem. And so why did David say that? And it was reference to us in Ezra. Consider and hear me, O Lord my God, enlighten my eyes. Why he wanted his eyes enlightened? Because sometimes we may forget what God has done for us already, what God has already done in our families, and we just looking at our present situation as an end all to everything. And so we need God to enlighten our eyes, to open our eyes, so that we can remember how faithful he was to us. And let's look at this in the C part of 3. Lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest I sleep the sleep of death. So what is that? Let's go to Jeremiah 51:39 and see what it says. 51:39. I'm going to read up a little bit as well. And it says, therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I will plead your case and take vengeance for you. I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. Now he's talking about the destiny of Babylon. All right. And Babylon shall become a heap, a dwelling place for jackals, an astonishment and a hissing, without an inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions. They shall growl like lions' whelps. In their excitement, I will prepare their feasts. And this is 39. I will prepare their feasts. I will make them drunk, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not awake, says the Lord. So, yep, I read that. God is going to make them drunk so that they may rejoice, thinking that they're okay, everything is hunky-dory, everything is all right. And it's just for a little while. He's setting them up. And God's setting them up. Well, God is taking vengeance. Remember, God is God. He can do that. And so you have some people leaving a Christian religion because God says he's a jealous God, because God says he takes vengeance. Well, who God has to answer to? We have to answer to God, but God doesn't have to answer to anyone. So he can have those qualities. He's not going to be affected by that. He's not going to be persuaded one way or the other. So He's going to get them drunk, let them rejoice, and then after that, they're going to sleep, a perpetual sleep, a continual sleep. That means that they're not going to wake up. So where did we see that sleep before? Well, remember when in the New Testament, when Jesus raised Lazarus from the grave? And he said in John 11, and Jesus waited 4 days before he rose Lazarus from the grave. And so as they were traveling, back to Bethany, where Lazarus and his sisters lived, they were saying right here, Jesus answered, the disciples said to him, Rabbi, lately the Jews sought to stone you, and you are going there again? Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks in a day, he does not stumble, because he sees the light of the world. But if one walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light is not in him. These things he said, and after that he said to them, our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may wake him up. Then his disciples said, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get well. So those drunken people and Jeremiah slept, but they're going to continue to sleep. All right. However, Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he was speaking about taking a rest and sleep. Then Jesus said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead. All right. So when we're talking about sleep for Christians, we're talking about death for Christians, is sleeping, because that means that whenever the trumpet sounds, and whoever died in the Lord, when the trumpet sounds, well, they're going to hear the alarm and they will rise from the dead. But if you did not die in the Lord, then you're dead and you're not going to hear that trumpet sound. And then you won't be raptured up, with the Lord. All right. And that's what David was talking about. So he said that, lest I sleep the sleep of death. He doesn't want to sleep that sleep of death. Lest my enemies say I have prevailed against him. Lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. And so we just talked about the enemy and how they are excited whenever we have to go through something. All right. So I'll see you in the next segment.